and people said, TLD, 10 little devils. No, we might have been devils, but we were full of the old Nick. And
Bruce, you're the one that figured this out.
Hmm?
Bruce figured this out.
Yes,
Bruce
he
figured
did.
out what it stood for.
Anyway, and you know what
The
we
only
said?
one.
We will not tell what TLD stands for until the year 2000. And not a one of us did.
Wow.
Not even two or three, two I think that died. They didn't even tell their husbands. But the year 2000, we did tell it. What do you suppose it says?
10 lucky ducks.
Bruce?
No, we're gonna let her tell.
Huh? You want to
We're gonna let you tell.
Trade last dolls.
Right.
And a trade last, I don't know whether that ever.
trade
Nobody
last
knows that.
dolls? Trade
Trade last
If you had a
Trade
trade last
last
first class,
dolls.
it was from a boy. Second class trade last.
A compliment, right?
It was a compliment. So that's the kind of stuff that we did in high school. I mean, we'd have our crushes on the coaches and it was just a fun place. Oh yeah, boy crazy, great guns. Chase the boys. Yes, I did. That's what I did. So.
Oh,
Pretty
God.
sure he did.
Okay, come on now, talk
Boys,
quick.
Well, we have a certain time limit here, so
How much more time do I
we
have?
have about 21 minutes. We got a gap.
No, that's enough.
Well,
All right, I'll be through.
okay,
All right, for now, here, you got me trading the phone.
sorry. Trade last dolls.
Peabody.
Boy crazy.
Okay, Peabody. Graduated like I was supposed to. Played the piano all these times. Always played the piano or the organ and played. And one time in Peabody, it was a big church, Methodist church. I was playing the organ and scared me because I was sitting up and I punched the wrong bell and the outside bells came on. Ding dong, and here we weren't through with the church service. An embarrassing moment. Yeah. But I played for one of the things you might be interested in. I played for the silent movie one time. And you know how some of the horses went, zzz. So boy, it was fun to take the scales and zzz, zzz. Really had fun with that for the silent movie. And by the way, the first silent movie I was Charlie Farrell and Janet Gaynor. Now none of you remember that name.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Janet Gaynor.
You might remember it, but you're afraid to say so.
Wait, no, look at Addie over there, the youngest, one of the youngest. What, Addison?
We watched their movies.
Silent movies.
Really? That's interesting.
What?
Okay. All right. We got our diplomas at Peabody. Peabody was a very special place to me. From Glenn Cunningham. Now there's a name you probably don't remember. He was a runner, and what did he do? The running.
He's a mile runner. He was
4 minute mile.
Oh, yeah.
He was
4-minute
famous.
mile. 4-minute mile? 4-minute mile.
Well, I don't know what it was, but both.
4-minute mile.
He was really quite popular and he was a celebrity. All right, from Peabody. Oh, and this is another thing I want to say. When they weren't very far apart, these little towns. And so one time, we got our parents to take us down to Cottonwood Falls, about 50 miles, because there was one handsome fella down there from college that was going to be there. So, going from our side, the Peabody Warriors, over to the other side, was somebody that's very handsome. And guess who it was? Clark.
Mm-hmm.
He was from Strong City, and he thought he was the cat's cat. And he was pretty good looking. I'll have to admit that. But I thought he was kind of a smart.
Poor Pop, he's not even kidding.
Anyway, then I went to college, and my dad said this. They said, we're sending you to college, but you are to go 4 years. You are to not be married. You have to teach a year. And if we ever find that you do that, you'll be out of there. So anyway, I did manage to stay in, and the first date from the library, I was lying down, you know, and when you're in a sorority, you stayed up half the night, horsed around is what you did. And as you know,
Way.
No
way.
No.
No way, Emily, no way.
Anyway, by gosh, we had a darn good time, and what did I start to say about that?
Meeting club.
Oh, had to go at Hell Week, that's what we called it. I had to go over to the Fidel house and kiss Clark in front of all those fellas. I loved it, but yet I acted like I was embarrassed. So, and the first date I had with him, I thought he was too fresh.
What'd you tell?
He tried to pop my bra. I'm gonna go back to my boyfriend and
You got that?
I remember all those little things. A lot about boys.
What did that say about you, Mark?
Anyway, I was out through college. Had a wonderful
Barely.
college.
Barely just your mom.
But anyway,
How many years were you there?
got out and taught in Cottonwood Falls. And I lived with two other girls in this little town. And I got $90 a month. $90 a month, had to stay in town 3 weeks out of 4. I had to play the piano. I really didn't have to, but then they wanted me to. So here I was playing the piano on Sundays and for a Rotary. And then in between times, having a heck of a good time with Chet Parker. So, Tom knows him, you know him. Okay, from there,
You know him.
I got,
Kayla.
from there, let's see, went to, well, this was, December the 7th, we were going to have a few more course months of teaching. Clark went to out to coach in La Crosse, Kansas, out west, and I was just out of school, so he proposed. Now here we've been going 6 years, each other. So I said, well, I don't know, I'll have to think about this. He said, Margaret, we either get married or I'm leaving. Well, he did leave. He said that he would be in the Navy, and got in the Navy the next day after we were married. And we lived about a month together, and then he went to Kansas City to be inducted. And then I finally...
Bill asked what year was that? Bill asked what year is that?
42. 42, right?
Yeah.
When you got married in 1942.
Got married in 42. 42. And let's see something about that. Oh, well. Then we found some good buddies out in La Crosse where he coached, and we had fun with him for about a month or so. Then he went back to Norfolk, Virginia, and I got a ride with a Navy woman, Navy wife, and we had a good time. And I lived several times, several years around New Jersey, New York, had wonderful
Tom's
times
River.
there.
Tom's River.
And in fact, where Sandy got to it, we used to go over there, over the, what's the town?
The beach, the beach.
Tom's River, wasn't it?
That was never been as bad as this.
Oh my God, that comes. Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
Anyway,
Chip off the old block.
anyway, all over the place, and talk
Oh
about
my gosh.
train trips. I'd always been on the train, and Dad and Mother took me every place, to the east, to the west. So we, get in the wonderful cars and the Pullman and sleep on the train. What wonderful, wonderful times we had. And this also, then I did a lot of traveling, of course, during the Navy years. In New Jersey, I taught, and first of all, he was in Lakers, and you know, that's where we had to pull the blinds, and scared. However, I was the doggone Dumbo. I wasn't scared particularly. I never thought of him not coming home. But we had good lodging, fun times, and I taught then. I went first of all, and you could always get a job, and especially if you had a degree. And so, anyway, I went to Lakehurst Elementary School and taught 46 kids in the 4th grade. And that was one of the experiences. And in the first place, I went to the bank.
Are they the ones that all smell like garlic?
Right here.
Are they the ones that all smell like garlic that you didn't like?